Hey Len, what's up? How are you doing today?
Hey Thomas, all fine? How are you
Good.
doing?
I'm good, man. Yeah. I mean, you're the latest or the last but not least, of course, again, for the Monday session run. It was a good day so far. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you have in store for us. So, what we're going to do today. Let's,
Yeah, last time I showed the track I was working on, the greatest,
yeah.
and I think I talked to Dom, and we went a bit through the project, and he gave me some tips and mixing. Yeah, told me some tips about mixing and how I have to process my leads because my leads are super overcompressed. And when I showed them to Dom, he was like, "Whoa, what's this?" So I started working a bit on my leads, and yeah, that's the point I am at the moment.
Okay, cool. By the way, is it the beginning we're working on or the greatest? I thought
The
it was the
beginning,
beginning.
the greatest work project. Yes, you're right. It's the beginning.
Yeah. So you worked on some stuff together with Dom, and yeah, he told me he had some great sessions last week with you guys. And maybe you want to open up and we want to just have a listen again, and then we can see what we can do.
Yeah, sure. I will.
And don't forget to click on the stereo option,
Ah, yeah.
share computer audio, arrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my webcam is. All right, stereo
Okay.
high. So,
Nice.
and my main point is because I want that old school electro vibes. People should feel that, and I think um, I tried to use some old samples, some old trance kick samples to get that, but in my opinion, it's not enough. Yeah, still not old enough. The style is not old enough, in my opinion. So you can't feel it 100% that it's like so. Oh, it's had this super old vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I kind of. Do you think it's more about the drums or more about the sounds or let's say the lead sounds? Where do you look for the vibe of the old vibe? In which year are you looking for? Like 90s or in the 2000s?
Um, I think it's more like the 90s. These very old punchy. How to say? I see my webcam is offline.
Yeah, I see. You're frozen. Okay, now we're waiting for Len to come back because he's frozen, and obviously this Monday is the Monday of bad Zoom connections. Nothing's working really well here. Oh God. Zoom, 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 zoom. I'm a zoom, a zoom, a zoom, a zoom, zoom, zoom. Bam, 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 bam. Gallery. Yes. Okay, so you're looking for that kind of like old school vibe, and you think you can't really you haven't got it yet, right?
Yes, that's it.
I mean, just a suggestion. That's what I used to do, or that's what I'm still doing. For example, when I did Pump Up the Jam, I take the original songs from that era and I sample out of them. I sample from them, like let's say the hi hats or the snares or the kicks, and then I mix them together with, let's say, the kick. I have the vibe of the kick, but it doesn't have the oomph and low end. Then I take a modern one. Let's say you have the whatever kick you're using, and you take away the part you don't need of it, and you add the old school kick, the sample kick, and just EQ both of them so they fit together. And you can do the same with the hi-hats. And very often the hi-hats and the snares and claps, they give that kind of like room and vibe of a certain era, especially the
Mm-hmm.
snare. So just feel free to sample those things. And in the extended mixes from back in the days, you find spots where there's no instruments. I mean, this is just to if you want to work on the drum sounds and if you want to work on the sounds themselves, yeah, it depends on which area you want to go to. But let's say Nexus has a bunch of like old school sounds in there, and you can recreate them. For example, the Juno 106 is. I don't know if you know the original or if you have worked with it, but the original analog Juno 106
Mm-hmm.
was very famous for its rave sounds, and it has this very special character. And there are plugins who can perfectly emulate that sound, and some of them all already have these settings in there. It's just a little bit of like searching and googling. But if that's something you're looking for, I could maybe try looking myself, and we find stuff together.
Sure, that would be awesome. But I love the idea because Sampling is always something I was like, oh, can I do this? If someone is hearing out his sample, yeah, can he go some, how to say, judge ways?
No, I mean, if you would sample a full melody line, of course, that would be a problem, or a chord progression with the original sounds. But if you sample drum loops and drums, everyone does that. And if you recreate your groove, or if you create a groove with taking pieces of the original sample, and no one will get into trouble just because he or she sampled a snare or a kick or a single drum sound. So this is not a problem at all. And then you construct your own groove with it, and you take the pieces and put them in a new context. So there won't be a problem at all. No, don't worry about that.
Good to know. But
Yeah.
that's a cool thing. I think I will search around and we'll try this out. Yeah, and another point is, do you have any ideas how I can place this part? The acid part.
Yeah.
You can hear it at two places, like here and in the end of the track.
Mm.
But I don't know. It's something like, in my opinion, it doesn't feels like it's part of the track. At the moment, it's something like an extra element, but it's not glued together with the whole track.
I'm thinking of, can we already include this in a way in the intro? Let's say with only one note of that thing, or two notes, like giving a little bit of like a hint what's coming, and people would recognize the track immediately just because you have one note, like on, you know? You have this, and people are, oh my God, this is this acid track, you know? I remember that, I recognize it. And maybe you can, do you have the intro ready here already? Or
No, it's just build up.
Okay, so can you play just from the build up to, let's say, bar 35, so I get a little bit of a feeling?
Yeah, sure.
Everything seems to be fading away from my grasp. Was I done? Or was this only the beginning?
You could do in the drop, you're playing this bam, 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 bam. Maybe, as an idea, for every second time you play the first note of the acid, you just double the lead sound. The first one plays the rave sound. And then you add just on top of it, wow, 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 as a hint, you know? It becomes a part of the drop already, but very subtle, not too, it doesn't distract from the original sound, you know? You keep that rave sound, but you already kind of introduce the sound to the people. And you could also, another idea is in the build up, on every first beat of the bar, like wow, even if it's a part of,
I get it, yes.
you make it a part of the riser, or I wouldn't put it too much in the foreground. I would just include it, that you can actually feel it. And so you place it all over the track in little pieces, but not too much. And then you actually lead to that part where it comes out in full, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I will try to make this, and maybe I can show you the result next week when we have the next date. So thank you so much.
And cool. And for the breakdown, can you play from bar 41 onwards?
Yeah, sure.
I stood there, alone and confused, not really sure of what I should do or where I should go. The only thing I could hear was a cold, pale silence, encompassing my heartbeat. I knew the skies were blue and the sun was shining, but my mindset was telling me otherwise. What could I think? Everything seemed to be fleeting away from my grasp. Was I done? Or was this only the beginning?
Yeah, I mean it's already there. I was thinking if you could edit a little bit earlier already, like 8 bars earlier in the breakdown, like super filtered.
You mean the filter should the filter is super slow. You should you mean it should start faster?
Or maybe a little bit. When does the acid pattern start? Where is it?
Encompassing my heartbeat. I knew the skies were blue and the sun was shining, but my mindset was telling me otherwise.
Ah,
What could I think? Everything seemed to be fading away from my grasp. Was I done? Or was this only the beginning?
okay. I think it starts at 57, right? Bar 57.
Yeah, there.
And is it a sample or a synth or what is it? Actually, how do you?
It's an Nexus sample, Nexus sequencer.
Okay,
Oh, where can
cool. So you can mangle it and tweak it and everything. Cool.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
That sound, I love it.
Maybe I was thinking of putting it already in at 53, like super filtered, super low. So you can already feel it. You can't really hear it, but you can imagine the groove. You know, so because you want to give space to the vocal and to this analog sound in the break. But if you start it a little bit earlier and then make it come up a little bit earlier, yeah, and then
So letting it introducing more.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's trial and error. You have to figure out what you want and how you like it. But it's just like, then you give it a little bit more time in the breakdown already,
Yeah.
and make it a little bit more important.
I think this knob.
The only thing I could hear was a cold, pale silence, encompassing my heartbeat.
Let's go. Another try.
Do or where I should go. The only thing I could hear was a cold, pale silence, encompassing my heartbeat. I knew the skies were blue and the sun was shining, but my mindset was telling me otherwise. What could I think? Everything seemed to be fading away from my grasp. Was I done? Or was this only the beginning?
Yeah, maybe don't get the filter that much up, because when it comes to the build-up, I think then there should be a little bit of like a moment, you know, where you really open up. Yeah, but you introduce it over a longer period, but that's fine-tuning. And then, yeah, as I said, maybe try to include it in the drop with like just like the ketone, the and or even in a fill, you include it in a fill so that it's part of the drop, and then I think we're getting to the point where it's there throughout the track. Yeah, and maybe even in the intro, like a filtered version of one note.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure. I think Philip is a good idea. But I will try. I try it out, and next week I will show you the results.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Track is really like groovy, has a lot of power already. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I talked with Dom a lot about this track, and he said too there's so much power, and he likes how it sounds. But he said there are the last persons are the sound designing, how to the lead procession and how I work with all the samples. So yeah, I think in the next weeks this will definitely my main job to
Yeah, but we're getting there. I think we can take it piece by piece. Once we have the acid part, which is one of the most important parts, once you are happy with that, we get into details with the mixing. And by the way, you can definitely book in another session with Dom this week, or even Massimo. He's also ready to do sessions. He's like a super pro with sound design, and he knows all the synths. He's a crack with Nexus and Spire and whatever. So, and he just told me today, he confirmed that he's open this week and to help you guys. So I can hook you up on WhatsApp and then take it from there.
Perfect. I will talk to him.
Anyway, I'll let you go. Thanks for the session. And whenever there's something coming up, hit me up on WhatsApp. You know the deal, or Matt, and we're here. And otherwise, we'll talk in a few days.
Let's do it. Perfect. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. Have a great evening.
And you. Okay. Also.